What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jeff Benjamin with iDownload Blog. I want to show you one of my, probably my favorite keyboard app or my favorite third-party keyboard thus far. And interestingly enough, it comes, I'm guessing, from the same developer as the Jailbreak version of the same keyboard. This is called iKeywi. And iKeywi was I guess still is, a Jailbreak keyboard extension available on Cydia. Well, now this same keyboard is now available on iOS 8, courtesy of iOS 8 opening up the ability to add third-party keyboards to the mix. So, iKeywi is here, and I have to tell you, it is probably the most promising of all the keyboards I've tried thus far by a long shot, just because of some of its features. Some of the features are features I have been wanting for a long time on iOS. So let me show you, I'm just going to take you through a brief walkthrough of some of the features of iKeywi and show why it's so compelling. That all being said, I still think third-party keyboard implementation on iOS 8 leaves a lot to be desired. They still crash a lot. They still just don't function exactly like you would expect them to. And they're still in my opinion, behind the stock iOS keyboard. But that being said, this is very impressive. There's a lot of features involved with iKeywi, as you see here. Lots of different options and things like that. But let me just show you. I can show you better than I can tell you here. I'm going to select all this text and delete that. And let's just go through a typing test. Now, right off the bat, you probably have noticed that there's a fifth row of keys, which is incredible to me. I know that's not a huge deal, but the addition of a fifth row of keys makes typing a lot easier, in my opinion, because that means you have access to the number keys without having to hit that 1, 2, 3 key at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to show you now. This is a test. And you can see the number keys are readily available for me to use. I can just use them like this. And you see, that is right here. That is a good example of what I mean by keyboard crashing. It just crashed, basically, so I had to switch back to it. So that is a definite downside to third-party keyboards in general. Like, that is definitely a downside. But, yeah, and you can see the return key also kind of acts a little weird. But as far as overall concept and functionality goes, this is the best keyboard I've seen, and it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Let me show you one other amazing feature of this keyboard, and that is swipe selection. Yes, you have swipe selection. I can drag my finger across these keys as I'm doing right now, and you see, yes indeed, you see the cursor moving to your exact location. So I'm going to put the cursor right between A and test and type something else. This is a new test. Do you see why that's so handy? It's because you can quickly go in and edit, set your edit points, set your input insertion point, and then make your edits right there on the fly. So that to me is awesome. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, yeah, you can switch between a light and dark keyboard like that. So let me actually show you some of these features in the Notes app, because I think that's a better representation. You don't have some of the return key errors and things like that. All right, so I've created a new note, and you can see I have the iKeywi keyboard there. I also have the predictive text at the top of the screen. I can still, I guess I can't actually. That's just there. I can't dismiss that predictive text like you can with the stock iOS keyboard. So I can type a sentence. This is Jeff with iDownload Blog. All right, so there we go. So I see that little I there. I'll swipe there to get that. So I can use swipe selection right here. So I can just put it just as, this is Jeff Benjamin. And notice the case on the characters on the keyboard. You see that when I switch between shift and non-shift, you see the case change. That is another jailbreak tweak, show case. So this is like 3 different tweaks combined into one, running natively on iOS with no jailbreak required. You have swipe selection, you have the fifth row of keyboards, and then you also have the casing, the showcase of the letters right there. And there's some other handy features with this keyboard. You can actually change the letters on the keyboard. You can change the output that the letters make on the keyboard. It's pretty deep, some of the things you can do with this keyboard. And outside of the test environment on the test app portion of iKeywi, it's actually pretty good and pretty solid. The return key works as you would expect. You know, it works very well. Again, I think iOS 8 keyboards still need some work overall, just like their implementation, the way you activate them, their stability, etc. But this is definitely one of my favorite keyboards by far, by a long shot. One major caveat, though, to this keyboard, in my opinion, is landscape mode. I'm going to switch over to landscape mode right now. Okay, so the keys are extremely small, number one. Let me just try to type something naturally. Yeah, just try to type "this is Jeff," and I had some major problems just hitting the keys. There we go, that worked. So the keys are really, really small. There needs to be an option in landscape mode where you can disable that fifth row, or even, I don't know if you can make the keyboard larger or remove the predictive text portion of the keyboard, the quick type portion, and then just use the additional real estate for that fifth row of keys or what, but it doesn't really work that well with landscape mode. There's just too many keys. But that being said, swipe selection still works great, as you can see there. That's just amazing to have swipe selection on iOS 8 natively with this third-party keyboard. So this is iKeywi, folks. It is available right now on the App Store for 99 cents. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. Like, there's no question that this is worth it, even if you just want to support a developer for making something so awesome. And another thing, I don't know if that swipe to move cursor functionality is quote unquote legal for Apple. I guess it is. I mean, it's obviously here, but you may want to download this just in case Apple decides, hey, we don't like you swiping like that to move the cursor input. So you may want to go ahead and grab this now, just in case they say, well, we're going to remove this until you get rid of that feature, and then you can put it back. So yeah, if you're interested in having swipe selection natively, you may want to go out there and grab this right now. It's 99 cents. It's iKeywi. It's an awesome keyboard. Hopefully, it will be continued to be updated and improved. But even at this point right now, it's really good, and I recommend it. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. This is Jeff with iDownload Blog.